Bitcoin is bouncing from this support level on the 4-hour time frame, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what we can expect next. I will have a look at Bitcoin on several time frames with you, because there are a lot of interesting formations unfolding for Bitcoin. I will also have a look at the two altcoins BNB and BitTensor Tau with you, but later about that in this video. There's also a lot of interesting data coming into the market, so watch this video all the way to the end, like the video, and let's dive right into the charts. Yesterday I was been monitoring this Bitcoin 4-hour chart, and I was saying that we're currently back at this huge support area and that we needed to see a bounce from this level. And if we are going to see a break below this support, then we are going to see much lower prices. But we can see Bitcoin created a beautiful bounce from this support, and that's lovely to see, because now we can maybe aim for higher prices. And every time we touch this horizontal level, we saw resistance and support coming into the market. And currently we are back at support and we are seeing a beautiful bounce. So let's see if Bitcoin can create more bullish price action to the top side, because we want to see more positive price action for Bitcoin, of course. And after some days of bullishness, we saw a lot of bearish price action coming into the market. But for now this horizontal level is holding strong for Bitcoin, so that is beautiful to see. So let's see what the coming days for Bitcoin will bring us. And yesterday we also saw a little bit of a negative day again for the Bitcoin ETF. We are now seeing 2 consecutive days of outflow for the Bitcoin ETFs. And we saw $105 million of outflow yesterday, so that is a little bit more bearish. BlackRock didn't buy any again, so that is also causing a little bit of negative days. And still the ARK Bitcoin ETF is selling like crazy. So once they are done selling, we can maybe see a little bit of bullish price action coming into the market again. And since a long time we saw a bit of a bullish day for the Ethereum ETFs. We saw almost a $6 million inflow into the ETFs, because we can see BlackRock is buying again, and that's beautiful to see. So let's see if this could be maybe the start of a big impulse for the Ethereum price. And after a lot of consecutive days of outflow, we are now eventually seeing a bullish day for the Ethereum ETF. So that is beautiful to see. And if we then go back to Bitcoin on a daily time frame, we can see this huge formation is unfolding. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance. And also we can see this upward sloping support trend line with multiple touch points here as support. So eventually this price on the daily time frame is getting squeezed into this apex, and eventually Bitcoin needs to pick a side. So we are either going to see a bullish break or a bearish break. And of course we all want to see that bullish break to the top side, and then we can create more bullish price action. And eventually this apex is getting reached in the beginning of September, so we could also still being trading inside of this formation for the next 2 weeks. But Bitcoin always tends to break out before the apex is getting reached, so we could either see a break before that. And if we're going to see a break above the resistance area, I want to see a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support, and from there you can aim for higher targets, and that would of course be a very bullish. But we can also see a bearish scenario playing out, that we're going to see a break below this pattern, and eventually we're going to see a retest of the previous support to turn it into resistance, and then we need to aim for lower prices. So let's see what's going to happen for the Bitcoin in the coming weeks. And for now we are in this consolidation formation, so we could still potentially see a lot of sideways action coming into play for the coming days for Bitcoin. So yesterday we saw a bounce from this support area, and in the past we can see multiple touch points here in the past as support and resistance. And yesterday this support was showing enough strength to see a bounce from this level. So let's see if Bitcoin can come back to this 60.5k level, and then we can see this big resistance coming into play. And eventually we want to break this resistance again to the top side and create more bullish price action. But earlier this week we fell below this level, and now we can maybe retest it as resistance, and that would of course be a very bearish retest. So keep in mind that if we're coming back to this 60.5k region, we can also see a bearish retest from there, and then we need to aim for low prices. But of course we want to see a bullish break, a retest again to test it as support, and then aim for higher prices. So this could be playing out in the coming days for Bitcoin, and of course it could also play out today. And yesterday also the Nvidia earnings were coming in, and they were coming in better than expected. Reports are telling us that they are seeing $30 billion in revenue for Q2, and that's a 3.8% higher than the expectations, so that's bullish to see of course. But the market reacted a little bit of negative. But we can see, for instance, the S&P 500 is almost back at this all-time high. And yesterday, when the earnings were coming in, we saw a little bit of bearish candle for the S&P 500. So for now, we can maybe see a retest of this previous all-time high, and we could also even come back to new all-time high. So this is very bullish to see for the stock market, as Nvidia is almost 5% of the S&P 500. So this is having a very bullish effect on the chart, of course. And yeah, eventually I think the S&P 500 is going to create a new all-time high in the coming days or weeks. And if we have a look on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, we can see this bull flag formation is still in play. We can see this big run up, a lot of consolidation to the side, and now we are seeing a weekly candle that is very red, of course, but yeah, the week is not over. And we could also see more bullish price action for Bitcoin, that we're going to see a revisit of this topside resistance, and eventually, of course, we want to see a break to the topside, a retest of this resistance to turn it into support, and then aim for higher targets. But we can also see a bearish scenario unfolding, and that means that we're going to see lower prices from here. So if we're going to see a break below this huge bull flag formation, then we need to become a little bit more bearish. But for now, we are trading inside of this bull flag formation, and we're in the middle stages of this channel. So we could either see a 50-50% chance that we're going to see more topside, or 50-50% that we're going to see more downside. And let me know in the comments what you think, if this bull flag formation is going to break bullish or bearish. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is the Binance coin, so BNB. We can see BNB was trading at these horizontal levels, and every time we touch this level we can see a lot of price interactions for BNB unfolding. We also saw that we are in this downward sloping falling wedge with multiple touch points on the top side as resistance and multiple touch points on the top lower side as support. And we can finally see a break of this huge formation to the top side. We broke out beautifully. We saw a beautiful confirmation of the breakout, and we are going to see a retest for this formation. So we are retesting previous resistance into support, and is also confluent with the horizontal support. So this is a little bit of a double support, and this was a very interesting trade to make. And as I'm always saying, you have to wait for a retest after a breakout. So this was a perfect retest, and now we can aim for higher prices. So let's see if BNB can create more bullish price action from here. And the first big resistance will be around this level, because we can see a lot of price interactions happening for BNB at this point. We can see a lot of rejections coming in and a lot of resistance. So every time we touch this resistance, we saw a beautiful rejection here. So let's see if BNB can come back to this resistance on the top side, and eventually we want to see a bullish break, and that we are going to create more bullish price action to the top side. And the second interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is BitTensor Tau. Tau was in this huge consolidation phase to the downside, and this falling wedge formation eventually broke bullish, and we can see this beautiful horizontal level was coming into play, and we see multiple touch points here on this level as resistance and support. And again, earlier this week we saw a big rejection from this level, so we now have to aim for lower prices again, and let's see if we can come back all the way to this lower side support. But of course we want to see more bullish price action for Tau unfolding, and eventually we want to see a bullish break of this horizontal resistance level, then a retest as support, and then aim for higher prices. So this first big resistance will be around this level, and it will be around the $360. But if Tau is going to back to lower prices, then we have to aim for this lower side support around the $213. So this could also be a very interesting accumulation zone to generate more Tau. But eventually we are now trading around the $300, and I think this could maybe be your last chance to buy Tau below the $300. And I think we're now in this little bit of an uptrend. So I think eventually we are going to see a bullish break for Tau of this horizontal level, and that we're going to create more bullish price action. And this top side of this formation is confluent with this breakout. So the target of the breakout will be the top side of the formation, and that will be around the $730. So that's still a long road for Tau to make, but eventually I think we will see those levels. Please give a like if you find the video useful. Follow me on my socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.